Have you ever stopped to think that there exists a prayer so short, so simple, so powerful, that when spoken with the right vibration, it can make closed doors open as if they were never locked? I am not talking about long, complex prayers full of difficult words. I am talking about something that fits into exactly 15 seconds. 15 seconds that, when used the right way, work like a spiritual key that turns silently, invisibly, but precisely, opening paths that before seemed definitely blocked. And before you think this sounds like fantasy, let me ask you, how many times in your life have you tried to push doors that did not give way? How many times have you felt that you did all you could, tried every strategy, used all your strength and still nothing happened? This invisible force that locks, that blocks, that delays, that makes you feel you are always one step behind. Florence Scovel Shinn called the interferences of the outer plane, and she said something even more impactful. Nothing can resist the spoken word with faith. It is exactly this that you will learn today. How to speak the right word in the right vibration, so the impossible moves. But before I give you this 15-second prayer, and I will give it to you, you need to understand something fundamental. The universe does not respond to force, it responds to command. And this command is not a shout, is not despair, is not a frantic attempt. It is alignment, it is spiritual order, it is declaring as one who knows. And that is why in the next few minutes, while you listen carefully to each word, something inside you will start to reorganize. You will feel a kind of internal relief, as if a weight on your chest begins to dissolve. Because what you will learn here transforms your relationship with obstacles, delays, and closed doors forever. Imagine now, just for a moment, that your life is a big hallway, a long corridor, full of doors, some open, others ajar, others wide open, and some completely locked, with thick padlocks and accumulated rust. Each door represents something. A financial opportunity, an emotional healing, a person who can help you, a new job, a trip, a project, an idea, a love, a new start. Some doors you have opened easily in life, others you had to push, insist, try many times, but there are those. And you know exactly which ones I am talking about, that simply do not give way. No matter how much you try, how much you pray, how much you think positive, nothing happens. Florence said that these doors are not locked from the outside, they are locked from the inside. In your vibration, in your thinking, in your energy field. She taught that everything that seems impossible in the outer world is only impossible because there is still an internal programming that prevents it. And this is where the change begins. Because there is a short, powerful, direct prayer, used by thousands of people over decades, that Florence presented as the command of alignment. A phrase that when said with faith and repeated with intention, makes the universe reorganize circumstances, people, opportunities, and events in your favor, as if an invisible hand started to unlock padlocks, one by one. But before revealing the phrase, I want to show you why it works. And this is important, because when you understand, you do not just repeat, you activate. Have you noticed that when you are desperate, nothing flows? The more you try to run after things, the more it seems everything moves away. This is the state of vibrational tension. It is when desire becomes a weight, and the weight becomes a block. Florence said the anxious mind closes doors, and the mind at peace opens paths. Therefore, the 15-second prayer is so powerful. It breaks this state, cuts the cycle of resistance, and puts you instantly in tune with the solution. It is as if you took your hand off the latch and let the universe open the door for you. Now, perhaps you have come this far thinking, if it were so simple, I would already be seeing results. And that is why this content exists, because it is not enough to just speak. Most people speak automatically, without vibration, without presence, without living faith. Florence said, words are obedient soldiers. They follow exact orders. But what we see in 90% of people is the use of words as emotional outburst, not as spiritual command. The 15-second prayer works precisely because it eliminates the excess and keeps only the essence, only the pure power of declaration. This opening serves to prepare you to receive this key, because when you understand what you are about to learn, your mind will stop running after closed doors, and will start to order them to open. And here is where I ask you a question that Florence asked her students in New York in the 1930s. right in the middle of the Great Depression. Do you want to keep reacting to the world, or do you want to learn to command it? Because that is the difference. The majority reacts, complains, suffers, compares, despairs, knocks on the wrong door, tries to push, tries to speed up, tries to find shortcuts. Few command, few speak with authority, few say the word and let the word work. And when you learn this 15-second prayer, you will understand what Florence meant by the invisible acts first. Before we go further, if this message is opening a new door of understanding for you, please show your support by liking and sharing this video. Your engagement helps this key reach more people who need it. ***. Before continuing, I want you to do something simple. Take a deep breath. Now imagine a specific door in your life. The door you most want to open at this moment. It can be financial. It can be a job. It can be a relationship. It can be the healing of an emotional pain. It can be a change. See this door, see the lock, see its state, feel the energy of what is behind it. Done. Keep this image because it is this door we will open today. It does not resist the right vibration. In the next few minutes, you will discover why this prayer works, how to apply it, when to use it, and how it instantly changes your vibrational field. And before you think, but will it work for me? Florence always answered the same way. It works for those who speak as if they already know they have received. And you will learn to speak like that. Because what comes now is the part that many people ignore, but that makes all the difference between those who see doors opening and those who remain standing before them. Now that you have visualized the door you wish to open, we need to enter the deep understanding of the force that really keeps it closed, and the even greater force that you possess to open it. Florence Scovel Shinn always said that doors do not open by physical effort, but by spiritual realignment. That which seems locked in the material world is only locked because the internal vibration has not yet authorized it to open. Therefore, before teaching you the 15-second prayer, I need to show you how it acts in the invisible, because when you understand the mechanism, faith stops being hope and becomes certainty, and that is what opens doors. Florence said there is a gigantic difference between asking and commanding. Asking is to vibrate in lack. It is to affirm that you do not have, you are not, you cannot, you do not receive. Commanding, on the other hand, is to vibrate in possession. It is to declare the truth before the manifestation. It is to assume the internal throne and recognize that you are speaking to the universe as an heir of good. And this is where most people go wrong. They speak to God, to money, to opportunity, to the solution, as if they were begging. The prayer you will learn today eliminates this pattern. It automatically puts you in the position of spiritual authority. It makes your vibrational field stop saying, I want, and start saying, I receive. And this change of a single word alters everything. Before revealing the phrase, let's understand why 15 seconds are enough. The human mind is fast. The subconscious reacts instantly to the predominant feeling. The universe responds to the dominant vibration, not to the long speech. Florence repeated, the universe does not respond to long words. It responds to their energetic tone. That is why short, direct, vibrant prayers said with conviction can do what hours of talk do not. 15 seconds are enough to break a negative frequency and establish a new affirmation of power. It is like pressing a switch. You do not need to explain to the light bulb why you want light, you just turn it on. This prayer is the switch. Now think about what usually happens when something goes wrong in your life. You immediately enter a vibration of resistance. Your body locks, your mind speeds up. You start to create mental stories of worry, fear, lack, scarcity. All this is natural, but it is exactly what closes doors. Florence said that the outer world is just the mirror of the vibration you hold. And when you vibrate in fear, doors close. When you vibrate in certainty, doors open. The 15-second prayer is built exactly to do that, transform fear into. But before we get to it, let's deepen what happens when you do not see results. Have you noticed that there are people who seem to have an easier path? That doors open for them without apparent effort? Florence said these people have a specific internal quality. They never speak to life from a place of defeat. They speak as if the solution were already guaranteed. That is the secret. It is not positive thinking. It is not believing hard, it is not hoping for the best, it is declaring the spiritual truth before the material evidence appears. This is what creates what Florence called the curve of realization. First you declare, then you vibrate, then you harvest. The world teaches the opposite. The world teaches wait to see to believe. Florence taught, believe to see. And this inversion opens doors. Now let's enter the part that really changes your life. Florence said that every time you feel blocked, worried, anxious, stuck, you should use a phrase that realigns your vibration with the divine flow. A phrase that tells the universe exactly what it needs to hear to reorganize the path. A phrase that cuts resistance like a sword of light. This phrase, this 15-second prayer, does two things at the same time. It dissolves the internal block and gives a clear order to the external. It does not ask for the door to open. It declares that the door is opening now. And that is the difference between hope and power. But before giving you this phrase, you need to deeply understand the mechanism that makes it work. Imagine that your vibration is like a radio signal. When you are in fear, you transmit on a frequency that only attracts more closed doors. When you are in certainty, you transmit on a frequency that attracts free paths. The 15-second prayer is like changing the station. It takes the distorted signal and realigns it instantly. Florence said that the right word at the right time sets in motion an irresistible force. This force is not external, it begins inside you. It starts from your consciousness. When you declare with authority, you are not just speaking, you are decreeing. And this leads us to another fundamental point, the consciousness of deserving. Many people cannot open doors because deep down they believe they do not deserve. They carry old guilt, inherited beliefs, memories of failure, comparisons with other people. And these internal shadows weaken the vibration. The prayer you will learn is built exactly to neutralize these beliefs. In just 15 seconds, it takes you out of the state of maybe and puts you in the state of it is mine. Florence said that no one can take what belongs to you by divine law. And this prayer declares exactly that the good that belongs to you is coming now, without obstacles, without delays, without interferences. Now let's talk about the right time to use this prayer. Florence recommended using it whenever you felt a block, whenever a door did not open, whenever a path seemed stuck, whenever fear arose, whenever the outer world tried to convince you that nothing will change, whenever your mind started to imagine difficulties, whenever you had an important decision, whenever you desired an answer, because the prayer works as a spiritual reset. It takes you out of the level of the human mind and puts you on the level of divine consciousness. And on that level, doors do not resist. Now I want to tell you a small but powerful story. Florence once counseled a woman who said she was in the biggest block of her life. Nothing was working, nothing flowed, everything was locked. Florence heard the story and answered with a single phrase. Use the command, my dear. Use the command. The woman did not understand. Florence then explained. Say the word that changes everything. The path is open. Good finds me now. The woman repeated it. Repeated it with faith. Repeated it with certainty. And Florence described that in less than a week all the doors that were closed before began to open. Job, money, an answer she had been waiting for months. Because the command changes everything. It is exactly this command that you will learn here, but adapted for your reality, for your 15 seconds, for your life moment. Because the phrase Florence used contains the spiritual mechanism of opening. But you need to learn it the correct way, with presence, with intention, with vibration. It is not enough to repeat. It is necessary to declare. It is necessary to feel the door opening. It is necessary to assume that what is yours is already coming. Now I want you to go back to the door you visualized at the start. See it again. See what is behind it. Feel its energy. Now imagine a golden light appearing from under the door. This light increases until it starts to pass through the edges. This light is the sign that the invisible has already started to act, because when you prepare internally, the door already starts to yield before you even touch it. Florence said that when you declare, the universe moves the first brick. And the prayer is the declaration that moves not just the first, but all the bricks necessary for the door to open completely. Now pay attention. What do you feel when you think about this door? Anxiety, fear, doubt, expectation, hope? It does not matter. In 15 seconds this will change, because the prayer you will learn is capable of transforming the vibration of the feeling immediately. Florence said that the vibration of the feeling is the engine of manifestation. If you feel fear, you attract obstacles. If you feel certainty, you attract solutions. The prayer alters the feeling. It is the code that unlocks. It is the command that dissolves. It is the decree that affirms. The door is already open and now you are ready. Before moving to the final part, I want you to understand. Nothing resists the word aligned with faith. Nothing resists the spiritual command. Nothing resists the conscious decree. Nothing resists the vibration of certainty. And that is why the prayer works. 15 seconds are enough to activate a force that perhaps you have never used correctly. Next, I will give you the exact prayer and I will teach you how to apply it step by step with the correct vibration, at the right time, with the right intensity. And when you learn, you will not just open the door you visualized, you will open all the doors in your life that were closed without reason, because your good is already on the way and this prayer will accelerate it. Now that you have understood the invisible structure that opens paths, that transforms blocks into passages, that converts doubt, uncertainty, and that realigns your vibration to the exact point where miracles become possible, the moment has arrived to receive what you came for. The prayer, the key. The 15 seconds that can change the course of a day, of a week, of an entire month, and more than that, can change the course of your consciousness. But before giving you these words, I want you to go back to the image of the door you visualized at the start. See it one more time as if you were in front of it now. See every detail. The color, the shine, the material, the state of the lock. See what is behind it with the clarity of one who knows that it belongs to you by divine right. This image is important because the word you are about to pronounce will act directly upon it. It will act upon what you saw, upon what you felt, upon what you desire. Florence always said that nothing happens in the outer world without being activated first in the inner world. And that is what makes this part so powerful, because this closing is not just a conclusion. It is the moment you assume your place as co-creator of your destiny. It is the instant you stop waiting for life to open doors and start to open them with spiritual authority. And you will notice, as soon as you pronounce the prayer, that there is an instant change. Something dissolves, something opens, something reorganizes. And this feeling is the sign that the invisible has moved into action. Florence called this the divine click, the moment the universe responds immediately to the correct command. Before we pronounce the prayer, I want to reinforce something essential. You only need 15 seconds. 15 seconds of presence, of faith, of certainty, to alter the vibration of your field and push doors that seemed immovable. It is not effort, it is not struggle, it is not insistence. It is vibration, it is declaration, it is command. When you declare in an aligned way, the universe does not just open the door, it removes the lock, destroys the padlock and illuminates the path beyond it. And that is what you will experience now. Inhale deeply. Hold the air for a moment. Feel your body relax as the air leaves. This simple movement prepares you for the state of reception. And it is exactly in this state that the prayer works best. Now look again at the door you wish to open. Bring your energy to it. Not with anxiety, but with calm expectation, with confidence, with the feeling that you are about to do something powerful. Now see mentally your hand touching the latch. Even if the door seems heavy, feel that you are not alone. There is a greater force sustaining your hand, pushing with you. This force is the divine law that Florence taught so much. The law that opens the way for good. The law that removes obstacles. The law that works in silence to attend to those who know how to declare their truth. Now yes, you are ready. The 15-second prayer that opens closed doors is this. By divine law, the path is already open. Nothing can block my good. I receive now. Repeat mentally, feel it. Let these words pass through your body like a ray of light. Repeat again, now with more internal strength, with more certainty, with more truth. By divine law, the path is already open. Nothing can block my good. I receive now. One more time, this time, allowing your vibration to rise beyond doubt. By divine law, The path is already open. Nothing can block my good. I receive now. Done. In 15 seconds, you have altered the course of the energy that surrounded you. You sent a direct command to the universe, a spiritual decree that cannot be undone. Florence said that when you declare with authority, the invisible forces start to work immediately to reach you. And that is what is happening while you listen to me now. But it does not end here. Now that the declaration has been made, you need to enter the state that completes the prayer. The state of trust is not to wait anxiously. It is not to check all the time. It is not to seek signs desperately. It is to trust. It is to act as one who knows the door is already opening. It is to walk towards it without hesitating. It is to live the rest of your day with the internal certainty that something has already moved for you. This state is the fertile ground where manifestation sprouts. Florence said, "Trust is faith in action. When you trust, you receive." Now imagine the door you visualized before. See it again. And this time see it opening slowly, silently, naturally. See the light that was leaking through the edges now invading the space, filling your entire field. See what exists behind the door coming towards you, as if taking a step in your direction. Do not force, just see. The door opened, and it opened because you authorized it, because you declared, because you finally spoke in the language the universe understands, the language of certainty. Now you might be thinking, but what if the door does not open right away? Florence answered, when you declare, the door opens on the invisible plane first. And when it opens in the invisible, it is impossible for it not to manifest in the visible. It can happen in minutes, hours, days, but it happens because divine law does not fail. The prayer is not a request, it is a decree. And spiritual decrees always find a way. Sometimes the door opens exactly as you imagined. Sometimes it opens in a better way, wider, smoother, more perfect than you asked. This is because the universe works on the frequency of divine intelligence, not human limitation. Now, I want to give you something that Florence always taught her students. After declaring, let go. Do not hold on. Do not imprison the desire. Do not keep repeating mentally, I wonder if it worked? When you start to doubt, you close the door again. When you trust, you keep it open. The secret is not to repeat 1,000 times. The secret is to repeat once with true faith, and then walk as one who knows the good has already been dispatched to meet you. Imagine an order you place in a store. After you pay, you do not keep begging them to deliver it, you simply wait. The prayer is the spiritual payment. You have already paid. Now just wait for the delivery. And here is something even deeper. The door you opened with this prayer does not open just for a single request. It opens for a whole flow of good experiences, opportunities, meetings, ideas, inspirations, and paths that were dammed up. Florence said that a single open door can change the destiny of an entire life. And that is what you have just done. Open destiny, unlock the future, release that which belongs to you. I want you to finish this moment with one last visualization. See the open door. See you crossing it. See you entering the new space that exists on the other side. Feel the lightness, the expansion, the relief, the joy. Feel the sensation that life is finally starting to flow again. That what was still has moved. That what was difficult has become simple. That what seemed closed is now wide open. And say mentally, I receive. This is the final conclusion of the prayer. This is the spiritual seal that Florence taught, the act of receiving internally before seeing externally. Now here is the final teaching. Use this prayer whenever you feel something has stuck. Whenever you feel there is an invisible wall in front of you. Whenever fear starts to grow. Whenever doubt tries to enter. Whenever a door seems too heavy. 15 seconds, just 15 seconds can return you to the center of your power, the vibration of certainty, the tuning of miracle. And every time you use this prayer, you will see the world around you respond, because closed doors do not resist those who speak with divine truth. And today you have learned to speak. If this key has unlocked a new possibility for you today, please put your little but a valuable effort to subscribe this channel.